Hello everyone. Today I will summarize the two movies of the Ghost Rider. Let us start. Western legend said there was a devil named Mephistopheles, specializing in finding and signing a contract with the miserable, making them a Ghost Rider. Many years ago, when the devil came to San Venganza to get the contract of 1,000 evil souls, but the contract is very powerful. He realized that it could not let it fall into the demon's hands, and decided to bring it elsewhere. But that was just a legend. At a small chain in the countryside, the father and son, Johnny Blaze, are performing a motorbike flying over a fire. Below the stands, a younger sister is applauding. The son stumbled into a rock and almost ate dirt. At the end of the father's performance, the father constantly reprimanded his stupid son. While maintaining motorcycles, the boy craved to look at his father's car, but he said he was not old enough to drive it now. The fiery girl came to Johnny. The father signaled the boy to join the program. He wanted to date. Johnny immediately led her to a big tree at the head of the village. The beauty told him that she was about to move away. Moreover, Roxanne's father criticized him poorly. Johnny did not want to lose the beauty, so he decided to take her to escape on the motorcycle. The two appointments will meet tomorrow and kiss passionately. He returned home to see his father was fast asleep with a family photo in his hand. There is also an old newspaper from when he was young. Suddenly, he saw his father's health check. It turned out that he had terminal lung cancer. Johnny was extremely heartbroken to look at his father. Then he slowly went to his room. Outdoor began to lightning. A mysterious old man walked slowly to the ranch of his father and son, Johnny. He is the demon lord Mephistopheles in legend. It seems that this guy is cheeky. Guess which sentence is true? He also promised to cure his father's disease, as long as Johnny agreed to sell his soul. It sounds ridiculous but very convincing. He gave him a contract. Johnny started to open to see and accidentally dropped some of his blood on the paper. So the contract has been successfully signed. Johnny woke up and saw his father well. He was happy to tell his son the disease suddenly recovered. At this time, Johnny believed last night was not a dream. Before the beginning of the performance, he told his father that he would bring Roxanne to escape. He asked his son whether an empty hand could not take care of his lover. But before the son's determination, he finally agreed to give him his car. Johnny was happy to take the car, but the devil elder had harmed his father. Johnny had just gone a piece when he heard his father had an accident. He rushed over, but just looked at him one last time. Johnny was extremely miserable and cried. He accidentally saw the shadow of the evil. He drove straight to the outskirts. Suddenly, the devil embodied in front of the car, causing Johnny to fall. He said he had just cured his father's disease, not sold an accident. After that, he gently placed a curse on Johnny's shoulder. He gave the hellfire on his body. Along with the curse, he had to forget his family affection. Even forgot the most loved girl, and claimed Johnny was his henchman, then disappeared. Johnny drove to the rendezvous. It was now heavy rain. Roxanne waited for a long time, saw her boyfriend coming. Before she was happy, Johnny had coldly left to leave the beauty alone. Many years have passed. Johnny is now a famous racer, famous for his stunts. He took the momentum and then launched through countless tractors below. Johnny slipped, recalling the dream of signing a contract to sell his soul to the demon. He finally successfully overcome the challenge, but breaking the ground caused him to fall, causing the car to roll over his head, and slipped straight into the fence. It seemed that this guy went to see his grandparents earlier than expected. But Johnny woke up and asked if the car was okay. He wore glasses and stood well, and was helped. After work, his teammates opened a small drink. At this time, the television was showing Johnny's performance today. Everyone guessed how long he would cheat death. The crowd looked at him and said if he did not have a guardian god, now he was sleeping with the earth. Outside, the sky suddenly thunder and lightning. After that, a rain of fire appeared. From the darkness, a black guy in the bank walked out to show off his teeth. At a nearby bar, the big guy was sipping. The bottle of beer in his hand suddenly froze. The black shirt appeared just now. He was stopped by his son. He pointed his hand against his big chest. His face was gradually withered, then fell to the ground. The female server is afraid to hide behind the table, but suddenly he grabbed her neck with his hand. At this time, in the corner of the shop appeared 3 demons. They came from earth, water, and wind. He wants to work with them. Regarding the contract in San Venganza, he was the Dark Prince Blackheart. Suddenly, there was a call outside, and he pushed the door out. It was his father, Mephistopheles. He came to chase his son to hell, but Blackheart told his father that he was out of time, and challenged him to bring ghosts to catch him. He will swap the speed of the old man with the same hole. It is true that the newspaper is a lie. The next morning was Johnny's stunt show. On the way to the stands, the reporters who wanted to interview Johnny were rejected. Until she met Roxanne, she was now a famous reporter. Johnny looked at Roxanne with normal eyes. During the interview, Johnny's face was long and said that he was born like this, deserved to have rain. Johnny invited her to stay to see the performance, but the beauty refused and left. Johnny stepped on stage as promised. This time he did not jump over the cars, but only jumped over the 6 helicopters flying. This is also what his father dreamed of achieving before. Mark instructed him to run like that, so he could overcome. Heard his headache too, Johnny. Below, he was the rotating helicopter. He recalled the image of Roxanne and successfully set a new record. He threw a hat for a boy and launched away from here. Roxanne was annoyed because his subordinates always mentioned Johnny. Suddenly, he appeared behind. Johnny wants to talk to her. Roxanne did not agree. Johnny ran to the body of his driver. Right now, a truck came. Roxanne shouted in panic. He gently slipped through the truck. Then accelerate to the front, blocking her car. The beauty was angry at him. Johnny said that he didn't see you for 1,000 years, but she said that she was very busy and did not want to talk to him. Johnny knew that the beauty was still affectionate to her. She was still angry with Johnny in the past, leaving her alone. Saying, Johnny suddenly gave her a passionate kiss, making the next cow be jealous. Beautiful people give him a chance to go to dinner together the next day and tell him not to come to prepare anymore. At the appointment, the beauty wears a sexy dress that looks at him. If you were Johnny, will you let the person you love wait? Johnny is looking at his car mirror. Is he handsome enough? Suddenly his hand was so hot. Right now his car suddenly started the engine. The devil Mephistopheles came out from the dark alley, saying that he was always beside Johnny. The accidents he avoided were all helped by him. Now it is time for him to pay the debt to him. He revealed the evil face, ordered Johnny to find and destroy Blackheart. After finishing, will return his soul. The old man swung the staff to the ground. The Johnny car began to shake violently, then rushed straight on the street at high speed. The places he ran through, the hellfire freely rubbed everywhere. The traffic police had just looked at the speed measurement and fainted. At this time at a train station, Blackheart and his juniors asked about a graveyard in this area to leave. The guard said he did not know when he was sucked by his soul. Back to Johnny, his body became more and more hot. The whole person was smoked. Every step, all of you have been on fire. The inner flame will crush his flesh. Johnny painfully died. Moments later, all over the body, only given the skull remained. Blackheart appeared greeting. Johnny has now officially transformed into a Ghost Rider. The wind demons rushed to the Ghost Rider, hanging into the chain. But immediately the fire caught fire fiercely. Johnny put his hand to remove the chain. Unexpectedly, now the water is firmly kicked. The water demon inside holds him back. A huge truck crashed into the Ghost Rider. They think this type of tone can live. The water demon took a few steps. The back of the shoulder had a hand holding back. Johnny launched a punch that made him fall to the ground. He was scared to ask, but Ghost Rider swinging the chain to wrap his body. The fire of hell quickly introduced him into terracotta. Finally, he melted into pieces. Johnny's blood disturbed the car like a puppy from afar. Johnny put his hand on the car. Soon the car also caught fire, turning into a bizarre shape. At the restaurant, Roxanne was again disappointed by her beloved person. She was extremely disappointed. The Ghost Rider was going when she accidentally saw a bandit assaulting a girl. He jumped down to rescue. Johnny grabbed his neck and pulled out the knife and stabbed him, but the knife quickly melted. The Ghost Rider told him to look into his eyes, in which he sees all his sins he has caused. The fire of hell began to burn his soul. The eyes of the bandit were only left and fell to death. Johnny drove to the suburbs. The sun gradually appeared. He painfully returned to the shape of the human. Johnny tried to crawl on the ground, then fainted at his father's tomb. After regaining consciousness, the whole hot person was uncomfortable. He drank several cups of water and walked outside. The old man seems to understand everything about him. He could help Johnny, but he was scared. Until the old man talked about the contract, finally Johnny chose to stay. The old man helped stitch the wound for him, saying that the Ghost Rider is the henchman of the devil, helping him catch those who escape from hell. During the day he will be normal. At night, when you smell the evil, the Ghost Rider will appear. The way he burned the soul of the bandit last night was the confession, the most powerful technique of the Ghost Rider. The old man said 150 years ago in the village of Santanganza, the devil used the contract to become a Ghost Rider. Everyone slaughtered each other to gain the power of the contract, eventually all sealed in that paper. But when he heard he would get a guy Blackheart, he advised Johnny to stay, because the devil could not invade the Holy Land. But he was impatient to see Roxanne. Johnny went to where she was reporting, also the scene he caused. Roxanne was interviewing the victim from last night. She described the bizarre appearance of the Ghost Rider, but people only think the girl has played too much. Just seeing Johnny, Roxanne was angry that he did not want to meet. His family said he was just a loose player who did not care about anything. Johnny had to accept the beauty leaving. At the same time, the police discovered his license plate in the pile of evidence. Johnny went home to continue to look in the mirror. He imagined that he had a fiery skull, and what would he have to do to retire it? He searched the book to learn how to control the hellfire. Unexpectedly, his hand really burned. He threw the fire to burn 3 candles. Suddenly, the beauty came to find him. She apologized for the words that hurt him. She also saw the memories of both of them, still carefully kept by Johnny. The beauty kissed him so dearly and wanted to give her body to him, but Johnny refused. It was really difficult to understand. Clearly he still loved her, but always acted very strange. The beauty wanted a clear explanation. In the end, he had to tell her the truth, that he was working for the devil. Every night when sniffing out bad guys, he would turn into a Ghost Rider. But when he was telling the truth, she didn't believe it. She thought it was just an excuse for him to refuse her. Roxanne, disappointed, drove away. Johnny looked at her leaving. Suddenly, the police arrived, invited him to the station to drink tea. They found Johnny's license plate at the scene, saying that he was a cold-blooded murderer. But Johnny insisted that he did not kill anyone. The police had to detain him. In there, all the criminals were killed. Johnny feared to ask to get out because he was afraid the Ghost Rider would be awakened. But the faster they were, the faster it came. The prisoners were bored. They went back to Johnny again. A boy moved forward, but was also beaten by them. While in danger, Johnny turned into a Ghost Rider. He stretched out his head and lifted him up, then borrowed his shirt to use as a cover. The Ghost Rider pointed at the boy and said he was innocent. Finished speaking, he melted the iron fence and walked out. In the prison, the fiery motorcycle ran out according to the recall of the owner. A police officer hit the Ghost Rider, so then he wrapped the chain around him and then revved the throttle. At the same time, at a holy church, Blackheart asked the priest about the village of San Venganza. Seeing the church's father stubbornly not saying the name, the demon attacked. Police mobilized vehicles and helicopters to surround the Ghost Rider. He stood on the wall of the bridge, looked around, and jumped into the river. Hellfire helped him float to the surface of the water. The police chief, terrified, watched the ghost escape. The Ghost Rider runs into a small alley. The wind demon suddenly rushed into the back of the car to calm down. Then, hovering away, a police car followed Johnny to a dead end, thinking that he would catch the culprit. Whoever thought he launched the car straight into the building. An uncle who was polishing glasses was a bit startled and turned to wipe his glasses. Jackson lives in this building. Looking at the Ghost Rider was also horrified. Johnny launched the car to the terrace when he met a police helicopter. The Ghost Rider threw the chain and wrapped it around the helicopter. If the pilot was not skillful, the whole plane would be thrown away. Below, the police building had glass everywhere. The police chief also saw the beauty Roxanne. The wind demon appeared to advise him to return to their side. The Ghost Rider grabbed this guy, but he turned into wind and escaped. The Ghost Rider swung the fire to form a whirlwind, sucked the demon in, and then used the hellfire to burn him into dust. Johnny rides a car straight out, swings iron chains into the wall. One person and a car rushed to the ground. Suddenly, a Ghost Rider stood in front of the police and the beauty. The police simultaneously aimed their guns at Johnny. Roxanne realized it was the person he loved. Johnny broke free and brought her close. The captain saw the danger and immediately ordered his men to shoot. The rain of ammunition would like to pass through people, but the Ghost Rider was not affected. The blue flame on the head was burning red again. The Ghost Rider created a firewall, then stubbornly drove a motorcycle with the police car and left. Blackheart witnessed the whole incident. Johnny ran to the cemetery to find a benefactor from the day before, wanting to find a way to end this. He talked about the story of the contract and the waste of 1,000 souls, warning Johnny that Blackheart will force relatives to threaten him. Johnny remembered Roxanne and ran back to find her. Roxanne worried about Johnny's house. She did not see the person she loved, but was unfortunate to be at home to receive guests. That night, the old man in the Holy Land felt the smell of extremely heavy evil. As soon as he walked out, some uninvited guests were there. He smashed the lobby of Blackheart, but was knocked down by him. He said he wanted to create an earthly hell and needed the contract he was holding. Then he kept caustic soda on the old man. The old man stopped, his ears close to his lips. "You will fail like your father." He was extremely angry and kicked the old man. He grabbed the soil and smelled the smell of the Ghost Rider. He hurriedly came to find his girlfriend. Johnny just ran home to see Roxanne. Lying on the floor, Blackheart made people rush to attack him. Johnny immediately turned into a Ghost Rider, grabbing his neck. He wanted to use the penance stare on him, but it does not work because the devil has no soul. Blackheart sarcastically picked up his red fire, which gradually turned into black. He hit him back to the ground to become a normal person. Blackheart told Johnny to bring the contract to him and he would spare his girlfriend's life. Johnny drove to find the old man. He wanted to use a crowbar to dig the Carter tomb to get the contract, but the old man stopped him and then smashed it. Inside the body contains a powerful contract. The old man is also the old Ghost Rider Carter. He believes in the love and will of Johnny. Then he gives him the contract. Carter took out a horse and turned into a Ghost Rider. He had only one last transformation and wanted to use it to see him off. But both of them quickly ran towards San Venganza. One who is a Ghost Rider and one who has never been afraid of death together. A sleeping snake was burned into a set of dry bones. Carter gave Johnny a gun and told him to stand in a circle. He said, "I only brought you here. Everything left was due to his fate." Then turned the horse back. Blackheart wrongly blocked water to intercept Johnny. Outside, Johnny gently ran into a swamp. The surrounding is only fog. Suddenly, the water demon pulled up and pulled him down. He was about to grab his neck and want to drown Johnny, but it was very dark. He turned into a Ghost Rider. Johnny used the penance stare on him. Johnny climbed to the shore and got to his car. He drove into the town. Blackheart has been waiting outside. He threatened if he transformed, he would kill Roxanne. Johnny held the contract in his hand and told him to release her first. The devil pushed her to the wall and she fell unconscious. Johnny came to give the contract to him but did not let go, which turns into a punch. The devil's son pushed him away. He walked over to get the contract. He sat up and took the top of the prison person to throw him into his back, then threw him back. But at this time, the sun has risen, reducing the power of the Ghost Rider. He threw the chain towards Blackheart. He was thrown towards the light. Ghost Rider returns to original form. He tried to crawl to pick up the gun. Blackheart held the contract to summon the evil spirits into him. Countless demons in San Venganza simultaneously escaped from the seal. They fly around everywhere and then enter Blackheart's body, bring countless resentments and martyrs to form a super ghost blood. Roxanne woke up. She was extremely scared and ran next to Johnny. He took guns to block the devil. Johnny continuously shot at him without effect. He pushed him into the darkness. Currently, he is very strong. Blackheart walked to grab Johnny's neck. At this time, Roxanne came from outside to use a gun to shoot the devil's head. His head immediately recovered. Johnny told her to throw his gun. Johnny put the gun into the darkness. The hellfire covered the gun. He immediately opened fire, dissolving all spiritual energy in his body. However, the devils from the darkness quickly left. The dense devil has gathered to regenerate another body. When the devil thought that he was immortal, Johnny grasped his weakness. He immediately turned into a ghost rider, grabbing his neck and letting him count the suffering. Soon there was only the body without a soul. The flame on the ghost head weakened. The beauty came to him, but Johnny thinks he is a monster. She was not afraid to touch his face, then gave him a deep kiss. The Demon King now appears. He wanted to regain the hellfire and return his peaceful life. Johnny looks at the beauty. Afterward, he said he would keep the curse and would use this power to fight him. The Demon King angrily beat the staff to the ground. He and his son melted into nothingness. Johnny hugged the beauty. The two walked on a field full of flowers. He was sorry for everything up to today. She said that was his true self. The two hugged and kissed under the tree, still carved with the names of the two of them. The story here is over. Let's come to the second part to be hot offline. Since the Ghost Rider chased the two Demon King father to the 9 streams, Johnny chose a life away from his homeland. But he did not pursue the criminals, but the hidden gangsters. At a distant church, everyone is known as a Zen on the shore of the universe. He drives a motorbike to the church to visit his old friend. The clergy invited him inside. Benedict said this place is considered a very safe fortress because they are protecting the devil's child. As soon as he was uneasy, the outside heard shooting. A bunch of gypsies did not know where they came from to carry all the hot goods. The senior stepped on the mouth of the river. He put the gun in Benedict's head and asked where the child was. Under this, the mother protects the child escaping. The gangsters tried to shoot several times, but being intercepted by karma, the Ghost Rider was in time to prevent it. On the occasion of Nadia's opportunity to take her son out to drive away, the Ghost Rider saw that the car chased closer. Behind, the Wanderer refused to ignore. He grabbed the gun, constantly wanting to shoot and kill the Ghost Rider. While in danger, the Ghost Rider jumped out of the car and shot wildly. He aimed at their tires and fired. The end is flying a few billion money for this car. The next morning, the Ghost Rider came to the hidden place of Johnny. But this glorious Ghost Rider has become a bastard and fear of light. The car that once fought was also faded over the years. She thanked him for saving her son in danger. It will help Johnny to solve the obsession for many years. On this side, the other woman has come to coffee and drink coffee. The old people said that a girl who looked worn out was not wrong. A nearby rich man removed the wedding ring to flirt with the beauty. Danny appeared, greeting his mother startled, then frantically ran away. Thanks to that, Danny easily borrowed his wallet and wedding ring. Nadia's mother and daughter got in the car to leave the city, without knowing that someone had an eye on them. That night, the bounty hunter was smoking when the fire was pulled away. It turned out that Johnny turned into a crazy Ghost Rider in the city. At the same time, Nadia's mother and daughter were being chased by bad people. They moved to a wall. Then, the beauty of the beauty did not let her escape. Seeing his son fainted, she burst into robbery but failed. Garion wanted to end Nadia's life. While thousands of pounds hanging their armpit, the Ghost Rider glided across their heads. Still hip-hop fashion with chains in hand. The Ghost Rider turned to chase them. He was feeling happy to bounce himself because tonight was moving limbs. Garion sent juniors to shoot bullets at the Ghost Rider. With the power of hellfire, the bullets are not worth the eye. Then he swung the fire to melt them. The feeling of shaking his head was like a numbness. Johnny used the penance stare to step forward in front of his mouth. With deep eyes, accompanied by hunger, peaked. The Ghost Rider is extremely satisfied with the sinful vision. Suddenly, a drop of the boy's blood fell, causing the other guy to melt. The Ghost Rider feels the horrible power from hellfire. The Chief Fire hunted off a fool who liked to show. Garion saw that and took a grenade launcher to fly away. Seeing that the Ghost Rider had not died, he fostered another explosion. Then he and his juniors abducted Danny in the car to escape. The next morning, Johnny awakened to see the nurse. She asked her for a little candy. She did not allow him to play a little bit. After that, Johnny was awake to relieve pain and quickly leave. He also accidentally encountered the boy's mother from last night. This side, Garion brought the boy to a deserted breath. He called the mysterious man demanding to raise the price, because he had encountered a fierce ghost. His head is like a solid bridge, but also fiery. The man knew the plan was intervened by the ghost, so he immediately bound the boy's blood vessels, make the Ghost Rider unable to sniff the boy. Johnny followed Nadia to the parking lot. Suddenly, she discovered the gun towards Johnny. He told him to shoot him for several. Nadia gave in to Johnny to participate in rescuing the boy. Nadia also told how her brother was once injured. The devil appeared to save her life. In return, he wanted her to give him his son. That night, Danny woke up and then drove the car suddenly. The boy tied his seatbelt should avoid a strong collision. In the dark night, Danny fled when he accidentally fell. The car on the bridge also exploded violently. The evil man and his accomplices followed the boy. A couple of nearby mistresses felt discontent with him, but the ending is losing the beloved car. On this side, Johnny and the beauty come to Garion's juniors. He stuffed his phone into his face, then asked where the other assassins are. Looking at Johnny, it was like a slag K was high. Sometimes when I got married, I cried wisely. The other guy was so scared he pissed his pants. Immediately tell Johnny they were at a quarrying mine. At this moment, the fire of hell inside Johnny came out. He rushed out to put his hand to death. But his motorbike also caught fire. Johnny immediately got in the car as crazy. At the devil's subordinates, the dedicated Stone Beach has gathered. They buy large amounts of weapons to prepare to deal with the Ghost Rider. Nadia sneaked into her son. I was about to escape when the big sun was stopped. Suddenly, the Ghost Rider's roar echoed everywhere, made him scared and caught off guard. She used a knife and then shot a shot to bring him to heaven. Outside, Garleon has equipped hot goods, waiting for the Ghost Rider to appear. He knew that he was about to arrive at a place to aim a fruit and rushed to the place. Johnny's exploded. They were smiling and gracefully. The glossy faces changed. It turned out that the Ghost Rider was still standing still to observe what these guys were doing. The Ghost Rider moved their bullets. He used fire to beat them all. Also, the hand throw the young chain, a guy running away from a nearby guy. Open grenades, but nothing quail. The strong grenade exploded, causing the Ghost Rider to turn around in the air. Another guy played a stupid gun to shoot at the Ghost Rider. He tried to open his mouth to catch all the bullets like fried fish balls. Then he vomited them all in his face. The largest leader took the big fruit to the shoulder. Boom! One shot brought Johnny to fly high. He fell to form a huge super hole. The juniors saw that, immediately spraying fire, determined to defeat the Ghost Rider. This guy is immortal.
That you guys shot so much. The Ghost Rider radiates continuously around. He gently climbed into the scooping machine to turn this toy into a weapon to cancel. The Ghost Rider excitedly drove everywhere. The fire of hell covered around the ground briefly, has turned into a sea of flames to swallow everything. He was convenient to stamp the guy holding a gun to enjoy a positive. The leader of the gun was about to kill the boy. Suddenly, a wrapped iron chain on his foot pulled away. The Ghost Rider craves the tank to enjoy the delicious smell. At this moment, Nadia brought Danny to escape successfully. But the Ghost Rider was sorry to throw the smell aside and then launched the car to chase the boy. The Ghost Rider grabbed the woman out, because the thirst for the soul has completely controlled him. But this mother soul is also full of crimes. At this moment, the boy also revealed his innate ability. Seeing this boy extremely weak but easily controlled the Ghost Rider's hellfire, Johnny walked in front of the boy to collapse to the ground. The Ghost Rider's power made him return to human shape. The next morning, Johnny was extremely thirsty for drinking water, to make a large bottle of water. After that, the three people continued to return to the Holy Palace. Danny asked Johnny's bottom when he was in the form of a Ghost Rider. Then the boy laughed, imagining the ghost scene of the bottom of the fire. Mephisto suddenly appeared. Johnny brought the boy with his motorbike. Johnny shows that his driving level is not a rival. They did not know that the devil could not easily let go of the boy. Galleon is still alive and crushed by a dying rock. The devil used the most magic of the rock out of him. It turned out that the devil had just given the rotten power on his body. He threw the burning wooden bar for him. The wooden bar was very fast and crushed into small dust. As soon as he saw the soldier's firm behind his back, he immediately let him shatter in an instant. The demon ordered the corrupt demon to find the boy immediately. On the way, he was so hungry to pick up the sandwich, but less than a few seconds, the bread crushed quickly. Even the green apple is blue and colored immediately. Fortunately, the loaf of bread in the wrap he had turned into a hungry devil. At this time, the Johnny group came to the Holy Land. The teacher rubbed his head and said he was about to go to heaven. He obediently handed the boy to the group of clergy. Johnny warned the boy now only he was dangerous. He led Johnny inside the cave to drink holy water, but these bottles are long-term soaked wine. He also took the loaf of bread and didn't know how long it was and said it was the holy cake. Eat a piece of immortality and neutralize all curse. Johnny bites a piece like a silver tea. He said it was okay to eat for full stomach. Johnny walked into the curse by himself. Momentarily, he turned into a Ghost Rider, spraying out the chains. The curse of the devil was also pulled out of Johnny's body. But when he woke up, he discovered that the boy and his mother were both controlled by his grandfather. Even the soldier was arrested on the ground. Turns out tomorrow is the full moon that will perform the ritual to occupy the body of the baby. If the darkness was successful, he would cover the earth, so this guy decided to eliminate the boy Danny by his head. The old man picked up the knife to prepare to slash, but suddenly Galleon appeared to kill the nearby clergy. He touched his hand immediately, causing the pain to shatter. The missionary used the uncle to summarize his neck to kill him. But with the middle of the rotten power of the hell, the rotten clergy's arm was shattered shortly afterwards. At the hands of Galleon, this clergy became a dry color. Even though he turned all the missionaries into Egyptian marinated. When the boy's mother and the big brothers turned out, it was one step late. He explained that the devil will conduct a ritual to win the life tomorrow. He will use the evil soul to capture the boy's body. This side, Galleon took the boy to the devil. He asked him to give him a few more crabs, 45 weighing, to release to help. Johnny's group of this side prepared weapons to go to them. The next morning, the evil ghost to eat son abandon himself will have a lot of power. Like you, I swear to you if I say wrong, my knees are equal. He also injected anesthetic to make sure the boy did not run away. John's group came to the base of the devil. This place is as big as the theater of dreams. The devil called the new prince's limbs will connect him. After the moon appeared, he let the boy play rock and swayed in the music. But the believers under the mouth mistakenly made the spell, forcing the temple to return. Mind here, mio, 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 return my mind. Outside, the beauty ambushed sniping each guards. Johnny and he came close to the ass. He makes vinegar for warmth. Then he treated two fools to watch the gate. On the stands of the boy and the old man shook his head together to clean the bucket. Quickly complete the ritual of transferring. At the time of the zodiac, he appeared as a god. The bullet destroys the devil's henchman. Just shooting him and praying for the gods not to let his children return to their ancestors too soon. Johnny flying up to the evil, a punch. Then back to advise the boy to run away. But unexpectedly, the boy's soul was controlled by the evil. At this time, he woke up to beat John down. Below, Moreau is shooting hands, then is caught by Garion. His arms gradually rotted quickly. Gradually, Moreau's body was also rotted. He used his last strength to give him a shot. That John lost the power of the hellfire. Should be easily controlled by the demon. He drew a boring way to make him extremely painful. Faced with the boy about to become a demon, Johnny did not give up his determination to advise the boy. Danny returned to ask if his strength was as strong as his father. After saying that, the boy flew up in front of Johnny's face. But this is the hellfire of legend, because only the son of the Demon King owns this fire. The very fast fire was absorbed by John. Having this fire, he immediately turned into the strongest ghost rider of all time. Johnny swung the fire to beat the soul of the evil limbs. The Demon King quickly carried his son into the car to escape. But this time, the sun also started to appear. The Ghost Rider summoned his pet chasing. In the middle of the sunshine, the Ghost Rider still did not disappear, because this new hellfire cannot be controlled. The Demon King's subordinates were constantly shooting bullets towards him. John jumped up to occupy their military car. He used hellfire to turn it into his car, then stubbornly drove the car to kill a few guys. At the same time, Nadia also chased behind. Garion hid and did not know where to jump out. His fingers cracked the glass door, then punched the glass to pull her out. The Ghost Rider turned around and saw him. He swung the iron chain, pulling this guy. The two together have solo kill in the car. Johnny swung the iron chain wrapped around him. After that, he grabbed his neck and wanted endlessly. He used the first device to pay back Godzader. This guy was extremely active and sneaked, pushing him into a situation of thousands of pounds hanging noodles. Coincidentally, after the sun was obscured by the dark clouds, the power of hellfire broke violently. He used the blanket to burn the guardian's soul. His body fell to the land withered. He called the driver together to work together. He swung the iron chain that pulled his driver's box to lose his balance. The wheelchair ran a few rounds in the air and then plugged his head to the ground. The Demon King was very difficult to crawl out. The speed ghost grabbed the old man with a few times for him to pee. But he said, "I was old, so I was afraid of Maku." It sounds like the chest. He threw the old man into the sky and pulled him down to the fire of hell. The very fast fire burned the body of the Demon King. The tough heel tilted up to the sky proves that this father is the number one. Nadia ran to scream in the car. John was excited when Nadia's screams were startled. Where is the ghostly ghost here, and who I am, and who am I? Immediately carrying the boy brought to the mother. Johnny also returns to the shape of a human. Unfortunately, the boy had no breath. At this time, Johnny recalled that now he became a Demon King with both sources of angelic power and devil. Easily played from the yin and yang peach. He used the blue flame to touch the face of Danny. The boy thanks to that. The kid still criticized, "We have won?" Standard, then he alone is worried. Rest assured home. The movie comes here. Thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications to receive the best movies their ancestors too soon. Johnny flew up to the evil for a punch, then turned back to advise the boy to run away. But unexpectedly, the boy's soul was controlled by the evil. At this time, he woke up to beat John down. Below, Moreau is shooting hands, then is caught by Garion. His arms gradually rotted quickly. Gradually, Moreau's body was also rotted. He used his last strength to give him a shot. That John lost the power of the hellfire. Should be easily controlled by the demon. He drew a boring way to make him extremely painful. Faced with the boy about to become a demon, Johnny did not give up his determination to advise the boy. Danny returned to ask if his strength was as strong as his father. After saying that, the boy flew up in front of Johnny's face. But this is the hellfire of legend, because only the son of the Demon King owns this fire. The very fast fire was absorbed by John. Having this fire, he immediately turned into the strongest ghost rider of all time. Johnny swung the fire to beat the soul of the evil limbs. The Demon King quickly carried his son into the car to escape. But this time, the sun also started to appear. The Ghost Rider summoned his pet chasing. In the middle of the sunshine, the Ghost Rider still did not disappear. Because this new hellfire cannot be controlled. The Demon King's subordinates were constantly shooting bullets towards him. John jumped up to occupy their military car. He used hellfire to turn it into his car, then stubbornly drove the car to kill a few guys. At the same time, Nadia also chased behind. Garion hid and did not know where to jump out. His fingers cracked the glass door, then punched the glass to pull her out. The Ghost Rider turned around and saw him. He swung
The iron chain pulling this guy. The two together have a solo kill in the car. Johnny swung the iron chain wrapped around him. After that, he grabbed his neck and wanted to use the penance stare. He used the first device to pay back the Ghost Rider. This guy was extremely active and sneaked, pushing him into a situation of danger. Coincidentally, after the sun was obscured by the dark clouds, the power of hellfire broke violently. He used the penance stare to burn Garion's soul. His body fell to the land withered. He called the driver together to work together. He swung the iron chain that pulled his driver's box to lose his balance. The wheelchair ran a few rounds in the air and then plugged his head to the ground. The Demon King was very difficult to crawl out. The Ghost Rider grabbed the old man with a few times for him to be afraid of P. But he said, "I was old, so I was afraid of the Ghost Rider." It sounds like the chest. He threw the old man into the sky and pulled him down to the hellfire. The very fast fire burned the body of the Demon King. The tough heel tilted up to the sky proves that this father is the number one. Nadia ran to scream in the car. John was excited when Nadia's screams were startled. Where is the Ghost Rider here and who am I? Immediately carrying the boy to the mother. Johnny also returns to the shape of a human. Unfortunately, the boy had no breath. At this time, Johnny recalled that now he became a Demon King with both sources of angelic power and devil. Easily played from the yin and yang power. He used the blue flame to touch the face of Danny. The boy thanks to that. The kids still criticized. Have we won? Standard then he alone is worried. Rest assured home. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find it interesting, remember to subscribe to the channel to support. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.